Hello everybody, my name is Troublemaker. This is Wargame AirLand Battle. And I have a match today. The last match, 1v1 for a while. This one is a NATO versus pact. And we have on the right side here, Johnny Steak. Of course, a very good player. Interested in seeing what he's going to do. And his opponent, the pact player, debuting on the channel, Mukip. Mukip. Sounds like a real name. And it's going to be the last 1v1 on the channel for a little while because we have begun the Clash of the Clans 2 that Dirty D's putting on with the WTF clan, and it's going to be 25 teams, and they have well over 100 players. The minimum team size is 4, and there are teams of like 10 people. So there's going to be a lot of people playing this thing. And yeah, so I'll be doing that. I'll be trying to do at least one game per day from this clan battle and see how that goes. Of course, it is 2, which means there was a 1, and it's the team league, so that's exciting. They got a crazy amount of interest for it, actually, so that's exciting. And the first matches will be happening today. And I believe there's a live stream. I'll put the link to the forum thread. You can see there's a live stream for it you can watch. And I will be doing one match per day on this channel as soon as the replay files become available. So speaking of replay files, we have one here by Johnny Steak. God, that's such a badass name, Johnny Steak. And he's got a lot of these 1-point vehicles with infantry, very popular option, because it allows you to field way more infantry. And by way more, I mean like, oh my god, that's 9 infantry. And we have some links who's going to try and grab some forward positions, and Alouette for spotting. And he might actually have an air superiority fighter. I mean, there is this Leopard 2A4, but he's kind of low on units, and he only has 2 cheapy commands. All the while, Mukip, that's his name, has lots of infantry, lots of AA infantry, a napalm infantry, which is interesting. They're very, very difficult to use. And he has what appears to be a rocket-based artillery unit. This could be some kind of weird cheese from him, but I stress, if this is a cheese, it's very weird. He does have a second commander, never mind. It's not actually weird cheese. So going for a lot of cheap units, and here we go. Pretty typical play from a top-end player. You're going to go ahead and grab these 4 locations. Basically, and we don't get to see this on the channel a lot, because usually it's good players versus good players, but 1 infantry grabbing this location has the amazing power to destroy a ton of units. And so the Mott shoots getting deployed far sooner than it wanted to. You look at the map here, we can see that battles are erupting on 2 flanks here. And amazingly, Johnny Steak has actually been able to get to both of the points faster than his opponent. So possibly his opponent on the move command and then the move fast command, slowing him down just a little bit. And we have Fusiliers in the middle going to be engaging some Mott shoots and some spoos. 152K spoo. And these Fusiliers will get cleaned up on this flank. There is 2 KPZ T-72s going to run into a Leopard though. And that could be problematic. Ooh, Chaparral getting Miss Michael, move to the front, not a good choice. Soaking a little bit of damage as the Leopard moves to the flank in a safe position, not firing. The Chaparral will go down. A little bit of mismanagement here by Johnny Steak. Could cost him the whole game if a bomber gets deployed, because that's 2 Chaparrals. And Fusilier is going to get picked off by the KPZ 272, which is a great, this is an amazing position. He gets to hit this angle here with the Leopard, and this side angle with the infantry. And he might even be able to get some of this Leopard. He does have a very weakened T-72, and oh god, there goes 1. And the Leopard is so low on health. He's microing back. He shouldn't be running here though, because he could probably kill. Oh, here comes a freedom fighter to finish the job. And big stun action. Here comes an AA. Does it get it? Yes, it did get it. And Mukip, huge lead so far. This plan by Johnny Steak is just falling apart at the seams. Mukip is just devastating these infantry numbers. And there might not be a chance for comeback here. We see both players have taken the 2-point bases. That's Delta for Johnny Steak and Charlie for Mukip. And Mukip, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Maybe it's something more French like Mukip. Fighting in the middle, very odd choice of units here for Johnny Steak. Definitely not standard. Oh, we see our Norwegian flag? It's not a Norwegian flag. Come on, somebody tell me that's Norwegian. And you know, pretty standard looking East German deck. Is this a whole East German deck? I think it is. An entire East German deck versus a mixed NATO deck. That's it. And here comes the artillery barrage. The insane amounts of rocket fire here. And yeah, Mukip getting a huge lead here. We do see some helicopters are going to shot down the side, will drop off their FJVs, anti-air infantries, and the battle for the middle will no doubt go to Mukip. With that artillery barrage, that pretty much settles it. Power Faggot here will sit in this position. And yeah, looks like we're going to hit the mid-game relatively early. There's still one helicopter firing here, but it's almost at an ammunition. We're going to try and drop off this infantry. And bad situation for Johnny Steak, who's not only been pushed out of the middle, but unfortunately just doesn't have many units, period. He still has that Leopard 2A4, but not a lot of infantry. He's lost a ton of them. And he's down to 2 bases. Yeah. So, interesting fact, and I'll talk about that after this final battle ends between 24 Mott Schützens, 9 reserve Schützens, and 1 higher I know when you click on this unit in the game, they actually say the name, they pronounce it, because it's such a ridiculous name. They decided to choose the most unpronounceable name possible. Yeah, another group of Steelers going to try and join into this middle, but it's kind of pointless at this point. He needs to get a lot more. And Power Faggot actually going to be able to pick off a few of these Saracens, no doubt also carrying 2 Steelers. So yeah, I always thought, and this is, keep in mind, this is after a year and a half of casting Wargame, that Russians were just really gender discriminatory because they decided to name their rocket the Faggot. It's like we're shooting gay people at you, but it's actually not the case. I decided to finally one day, like, what does faggot mean in Russian? It's possible it meant nothing and it's just an acronym, but I had to find out. I had to absolutely find out. It actually means bassoon, the musical instrument. You know, like that. That's crazy. They decided to call it the faggot, and I don't want to get into the sexual connotations of that because it's kind of funny in itself, but regardless to say, that is actually a badass name for a rocket, because bassoon looks kind of like a rocket. When you blow into a bassoon, you could be shooting out rockets. They wanted to say to their enemies, hey, we will fight you with the music of death. And that's what they got, the Power Faggot, which, you know, destroys. I thought that was cool. Cool little interlanguage factoid there. Maybe you're not interested. Maybe I'm too excited about this. Maybe too many of these MD Jupiters are dying right now. Speaking of which, Johnny Steak has somehow made a comeback. How does he do this? He's 50 points behind still. Mukip got a considerable lead as more of these MD Jupiters carrying some very cheap infantry come in. These higher Hegemet. That's what they're called. And in the distance we see 1 MD Jupiter. Keep in mind, no armor can run in. Try and soak some of these Power Faggot shots. Look how he deployed it very quickly just as the Power Faggot finished winding up. And here comes the Leopard 2A4 coming in to try and pick off this Power Faggot. However, he's not falling for the ploy. He's not going to fire on this MD Jupiter and reveal his position with these Power Faggots. Mostly because he's probably empty. Yes, he's empty. The T-72, however, is revealing his position, is firing on these MD Jupiters, and now the Leopard finds the target and fires! While the battle for the middle does continue with these Fusiliers firing on the Mott Schützen and the Spoes in the distance, providing no support whatsoever. Probably terrified of this Leopard 2A4, a terrifying heavy tank of all tanks. And the T-72 is just picking off away at this infantry. All the while, it is providing a tanking buff, this infantry is. How much armor these infantry actually gain from the building is hard to say. It's never officially said anywhere. They still remain their 0 armor, because of course tanks are, infantry have no armor. And the battle rages on. Both players keeping their big tanks. The T-72 going to refill up off of this supply truck. And here we go, a rocket barrage on this infantry location. Gets a stun, might get a couple of kills here. No, 0 kills. In fact, that was a bad move because now that infantry is going to become very close to veterancy. Yes, taking damage causes veterancy. Scary thought. As Johnny Stake has refilled the entire field very quickly. But keep in mind the discrepancy in units here is not that big. We have about 14 more points worth of units here. And here comes these crazy helicopters, these THSMI-35Ps. Oh my god, rocket shot takes away only 1 point. And it's one of these higher end tanks. This is kind of bold from Mukip playing East German deck. Basically, the current metagame for the game is that NATO plays a mixed deck. They can play American, they can play British, they can play French, but their optimum is a mixed deck. And the only good deck for Russians is completely Soviet, where all the other factions are kind of pointless. And Mukip is really showing he has some gonads here. Really just playing those faggots. Yes, we learned a word today. Today's word of the day was pallor faggot, which means bassoon, a musical instrument. Actually, he doesn't have that many of them. He only has that one squad, and that's it. He has an actually considerable low amount of anti-tank options here. Of course, truthfully, on this map, anti-tank is not going to be the best. You'll want them for the flanks, because they're a long stretch of road, but realistically, there's no other place to put them. If he could move his infantry up into this location, he could facilitate an AT weapon here to hit in this direction, but that's about it. So, mortar is out, and as I say, as far as artillery goes, this is your insanely cost-effective unit. It does very low amounts of damage per hit, but it's got a lot of ammunition. It's very cheap on supply, and so over time it's going to do more damage. Whereas your rocket-based artillery is like, where is it? Where are you? Oh, there it is. It's all the way back here. Your rocket-based artillery are going to do insanely high amounts of damage by comparison, but over a much slower amount of, faster amount of time, I say. High amounts of damage, very fast, very high cost per use though. And you can see his FOB is almost completely decimated. If you're going to do something like this, you need an FOB. There's no surviving it. And it looks like some more Saracens are going to try and rush in here. Spot for the infantry. Probably going to sacrifice both Saracens. Yes, he is. And now he's got a spot here. The Law of M, his mortar, will be able to fire on this location and try and cause morale damage. That's a huge thing with artillery. You want to fire in position because it can cause enough morale damage for them to route in a different direction into a different area, and you can knock them out. Fusiliers should be able to grab this Mach Schützen pretty simply, pretty easily, and I think Johnny Stake is getting close to being empty on infantry. He's been burning through a lot of them to try and get back in this game. And you don't see a game this close. You're looking at a game that's literally 6 points apart. Rocket-based artillery does the stun, but does not do the route action. And a Mach Schützen will be coming into this location here to try and challenge the Fusiliers. But once again, just too many of them. This Mach Schützen should be moved up to a new position. This is one of those maps where you want to creep your infantry from building to building to building. And Fusilier might get a free URAL, which scores 1 point. Not too much. And this looks like it's going to be a tipping point. This Mach Schützen should die to this Fusilier, which should solidify a lead by Johnny Stake. Something he has not had in a while. Down from 200 points. Mach Schützens will be the decider. And these Fusiliers take a ton of pounding from this tank. This tank cannot. It needs to get a little bit closer if it wants to use those nice little AT guns. Currently, it's only using an AT weapon on infantry, and that's not very good. And there we go. 10-point lead now for Johnny Stake as the battle rages on for the middle. Johnny Stake running low on infantry. Oh, no, he's got a few more infantry left. And he's now starting to rally out these Leopard 2A4s, these heavy tanks, these endgame units. And he also has a lot of helicopters just splashing in. This also tests the ground for these FJVs. Where are those infantries at? Not really using, or should I say abusing, this mortar too much. It's only got 4 supply left on it. You could do a little more with that. Fusiliers will go down in the middle, however. And we're going to see the flip-flop. Mukip will take back the lead by 20 points. So we're just gonna skip past all this bow in mid game, as more infantry are gonna get deployed in the middle, and like I said, just leapfrog. This is good stuff. Leapfrog your infantry. You don't want to drop them where they're fighting, because where they're fighting, they will die immediately. Speaking of MD Jupiter coming in to grab this position again, and another tank, 2 tanks this time. So once again, he wants to set off these power faggot rockets, throws away 1 point. Absolutely worth it. Every single one of those rockets costs about 5 to 6 points worth of supply. That's just a fact. So throwing away 1 point per rocket is an absolutely great trade. Absolutely great. Saracens firing on these Stows and these Matschutzens, as the Matschutzens finally in position, not able to grab them before they die, and the Saracens and this Spow will both stay full on health. Well, both players sitting on their 2 bases. Oh, whoa! 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 It seems that sneaky devil Mukip has in fact taken an extra base. He's invested 110 points into taking that base, and now he has a very crazy close rally point. It's also explained why Johnny Steak was actually able to come back, because he has an extra 100 points of units that his opponent doesn't have. And here comes the rocket-based artillery. Oh my god, Fusilier stunned. Really, this is actually going to be... And it's very surprising, actually, there's not a lot of mortar fire coming from Johnny Steak, considering how many infantry are in this game right now. And Fusiliers will maybe die. Once again, just little thing, if you're newer to the game, moving this tank up can actually help it kill stuff. The only fear, of course, is a village like this. If there are some AT weapons located in here, that could be disastrous. But yeah, just he's burning through a lot of AT weapons here, which is very problematic. And can be very problematic because you need those to prepare for push. Simple micro technique is you turn them off, and you only use your anti-infantry vehicles. Come in, do some anti-infantry damage, and move away. Maybe he doesn't want to risk it, but the Matschutzen could actually die here. Could be the upset of the century. 3, 2, 1. M1 Abrams comes to support. Also using its AT weapons. And that is the end of that. However, another Stow with 30 more infantry are coming in here. He's got to deploy it pretty quickly because here comes the Saracen forward. Oh my god, Flame PZ, flaming all the infantry down, burning through large quantities of Fusiliers, throwing away another Saracen to spot positions. And here comes the rocket barrage, hitting a nice array of units here. Stunning one group of Saracens out in the open. Well, not Saracens, Fusiliers out in the open. And looks like this group of Fusiliers will in fact go down, as both players are probably getting pretty close to being empty on infantry. I mean, I don't know about other people, but I only put like 4 or 5 infantry in my deck. And we're starting to see a lack of infantry diversity here as well. That could signal to that. Ooh, M1 Abrams trying to do some damage. And this is ironically a good position here if he can just get into this sweet spot of being in range of the infantry but not being in range for the fire back. And oh god, outside the sweet range. Pulls back immediately, using that good old-fashioned reverse micro. Not going to reveal any weak points. And huge barrage hit there, as Johnny Steak actually doing pretty good. He's 30 points ahead. Oh my god, here comes a Meg Fighter, dropping the bombs on this area here. It hits slightly. Probably would have been better used on those infantry. Fusiliers stunned, moving in position, probably to avoid that bomb. And the switch spots. You now see a Fusilier. Where is he going? Where is he going? Looks like he's going to head towards this general direction. More defensible position. As we are now into the last half of the game? Half? Something like that. So, going to try and grab this CP kill. Look at this. Got 50% health from 1 barrage. So, he could actually do something pretty crazy here. The position has been revealed. He now knows that's in fact there. There's no real spotter for this, so damage is, negligible. Look at all these empty vehicles here. Oh my god. All these 5-point vehicles just sitting here on this weird flank. Mukip, you OCD bastard. Sacrificial MD Jupiters, just trying to figure out where things are. Like, they're only 1 point, so they end up being very much worthwhile. Sacrificing Spoos, I'm a little more hateful towards. And once again, just throwing his MD Jupiters forward, wanting to waste ammunition here. Nothing crazy big happening here. The kind of unfortunate side of this is that the MG Jupiters actually don't have any optics at all. So they can't actually see anything. They can only see things when it gets fired on. Kind of one of these weird things. So we have a second and third artillery units. Still doesn't use this lava ammo. It's still full on ammunition. Probably should get used. And this battle for the middle will rage on. There's just really weird stuff over here though. Like these ones I understand they're all 1 point vehicles, but all these spoos, why are all these spoos in which? Why can't they be like right here? This is a good spot for them. Create an arc. So not really maximizing his potential here is Mukip, who is now. Oh, you know this is probably all for. He might be afraid of a reinforcement block, so he's just using all these vehicles as a cheap spotter. Awesome. Battle for the middle, going crazy. Oh my god, the Lynxes are coming in. This is turning into a real battle here. The Lynxes firing their crazy rockets of doom, the Hydra 70, to pick off some free infantries. And basically no players really gained any ground, but currently Johnny Steak, with the use of these helicopters, just devastating his opponent on the infantry kills. Neither player has really moved into the tank arms race that tends to happen every now and then, where one player starts building, like, you know, 4 heavy tanks, and the other player starts building 4 heavy tanks, and one player builds 20 AT, and the other player builds 20 AT. Like, this map doesn't support this. Is a complete infantry hurrah. I feel bad for people who don't have a good infantry deck on this. And whoa, does he actually see this using this BG5? BGS? Yes, in fact he does. So he's going to try to pick off this cleric using his artillery units. Hey, this is a really great spotting position because there's a little thing here, and there's a little field here, and that's invisible. He can't see that. Can he? Nope, he cannot see that. That is actually interesting. Small little use of abuse of map territory. All made possible by securing this location. If he didn't have this recon unit, wouldn't be able to get anywhere. So we're going to see a lot of artillery coming out right now from Johnny Steak, who's just going to fire on anything he can see, because that gives him a pretty considerable bonus. So here comes the barrage, and whoa, hopefully you can't hear that. There's like still to this day construction in the backyard, and it takes a long time to build a house, I guess. And yeah, you should be able to kill that Fleric unless it moves. And oh my god, finally spots the spotter. KPZ T72MI knows it's here. He moved up a little bit too close, and there is in fact a Grenzer. Here comes a crazy flock of MiGs. Will they hit anything big? Leopard down to 1 point. Dear God, that was a pretty good attack here. Martyr Roland 2 coming up, realizing there's so many jets on the field, they're going to need more. One of the Lynxes, which was on the ground, gets hit by that artillery fire, and the Leopard is so low on points. He's going to go ahead and get a Jupiter in there. Some more artillery moving up. We saw some counter artillery barrage there, and very wisely, Johnny Steak actually moving his artillery, and whoa, MiG fighter going to kill the thrown away. Johnny Steak now has a massive lead. Desperation starting to set in. He's trying so hard to kill off these units, but he's trading for nothing. Using this Alouette 3 as a baiter, the Martyr Roland 2 is able to kill off 2 jet fighters, which gives a considerable, devastating lead, a game-changing lead to Johnny Steak. Spiz BMP-1 PC, one of my favorite units in the game. No, seriously, it is. You're gonna fire on the distance on this page. Your main man. The reason why it's one of my favorite names in the game is because it's an infantry carrier that has an AT gun and conquers rockets. That is crazy. So, how about them throwing away games? Well, we have artillery barrage happening. We should be getting pretty close to a last-minute hurrah here from Mukip, who has been actually devastated. Maybe he might just rally up more artillery and go for artillery kills. Who knows? He's an unknown. And unknown people do unknown things. It could be a loss for rocks. We're seeing 8 KPZ tanks here. That's a lot of T-72. T-72s, of course, are not a favored, loved tank for the Soviets. But because of a lack of T-80 option for the East Germans, they are more or less stuck with these units. And, yeah, looks like we're going to see a last tank hurrah coming up right now. Am I the only one that grew up and there was like there's like cartoon announcements for commercials for TV shows? By TV shows I mean cartoons. And if they go, after these messages, we'll be right back. Okay, I guess I'm the only one. So we're gonna see a last minute tank rush. There are some helicopters here to support for Johnny Steak, but this will be it. And it looks like he's pulling back. He wants more. He's got 3 more T-72s coming in and 2 TO-55s. And remember, the TO-55, despite being a flamethrower tank, is also an AT tank, a tank destroyer. So it's just got that added bonus that it deals really well with infantry. And here comes the Conquerors leading the charge. I don't know if they should be leading the charge though. They're Conquerors. And 1 Saracen down. And if he can just completely avoid this middle location, he should be closer to fine. Conquerors didn't even take damage there. And this is where it gets kind of sketchy because there's infantry here, here, here. There's not really a good path to get out here. Another Saracen could go down here. And it looks like you can just completely bypass all these buildings, maybe. Possibly. No, don't look like it. Here comes the rocket barrage coming to support. Hits basically nothing there. Only has 1 Saracen. Here comes a MiG fighter, but gets shot down by a roller. Oh my god, what's he doing? What are you doing? Trying to get this Alouette 3. Oh, just not able to get that helicopter at all. And this could be unwinnable. There's a 500 point difference in this final push here, as these KPZ tanks are just trying to bypass all the infantry and go for the command kills. And this is an all or nothing. If I was Johnny Steak, and keep in mind, I am Johnny Steak, I would rally out so much AT right now. But it looks like he's going for the more mobile tank, something that can support a little more damage. And looks like the Lynx is coming in here. There's no AA here, as the Lynx is going to smash the Flame PZ TO-55. Everything's stunned here. Everything's stuck in position. The M1 Abrams coming in. The Leopard 2A4 not really responding effectively. AMX Roland 3 going to move away as the tank ball is getting crushed into a pincer movement of lots of helicopter rockets hitting all locations, getting great stuns, pincering them in place. The M1 Abrams getting some great shots off, 2 of them in different locations. 3 more M1 Abrams coming in. The Leopard 2A4 moving into a position to get a flanking shot on the side here, as this is the trap that was never spotted, that was never done in the life of this game. Lynxes are all completely empty on ammunition, as the remainder of the things coming to clean up the very weakened KPZ T-72s, and there's only 5 of them left over. This is the epic battle we were looking for, as, oh my god, tank death, and oh my god, tank destruction, devastation. 1975 points left. This time tank will end the game. Johnny Steak wins it very convincingly against Mukip. Early on, Mukip gets a very significant lead, but in the end, that was the end. My name is Troublemaker. All week we will have Clash of the Clans 2. As the games become available, we will be playing the minimum 1 game per week. Join in at the TMC channel. My name is Troublemaker. See you guys next time.